On this week's episode, it's our Halloween special as we bring you our most horrific gaming takes to shock and terrify you. We also discuss what makes a good horror game, and on this week's Pixel Picks Showdown, we name the best Halloween game. All this and more on the Pixel Parents podcast. Hello and welcome to the next episode of the Pixel Parents podcast, the show that discusses all things gaming from the perspective of parents. I am your host Liam Kelvin, and today I'm joined by the bearded one, Scott, the tastemaker. Curry, how are we, Scott?
The tastemaker. I'm very well. It feels like it's been forever.
Yes, it has.
Since we last spoke.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not spoke, but
in person.
In person, yeah. Come off the back of a few days off work up in the Scottish Highlands, and returned with a very sore throat.
Oh, right.
That
clean air.
Yeah. From what you would expect, yeah, catch the cold from nowhere. But, you know, I'm about 75% cough syrup at the moment.
Okay.
So it's good. I'm ready to rumble and you know, embarrass myself a lot more on the internet.
Oh, good God. Yeah, I mean, I think from the offset, it's the Pixel Parents Halloween special, and we're inviting the chaos on this one. It's been growing the past few weeks, but that's it. We're opening the dark hold.
We're putting a stop to it.
That's it. Chaos magic all the way. That's us. I don't know as well, but you know, we might have kicked things off with a little Halloween twist. We might have. So this is for Liam in the future. We'll see.
And for Scott in the future, still oblivious to what's going on here.
Don't you worry.
I'll find out.
You'll find out later. But yeah, it's same. I'm back from holiday. It's just back to the grind. Busy week. Obviously, we've got a really busy end to the week, Scott,
yes,
don't we?
I know.
Busiest.
The busiest of weeks.
The busiest. Maybe we should tell people what we're actually doing at the end of this week. In fact, the day this podcast goes live.
Maybe we shouldn't, though.
I think we should, because it's nice.
Maybe we shouldn't tell anyone.
Well, I'm going to. What we're doing is, because we thought, no, bugger it, we're going to reclaim a day and do this old school, as we know, on Friday, when this podcast goes live. Call of Duty Black Ops 6.
It's disgusting.
Hits the shelves, hits the Game Pass, hits the virtual world. And we thought, to hell with it. Let's just take a day and just play nothing but that.
I'm going to Prestige Master in one day.
Yeah, I'm actually really looking forward to it, because do you know what? I don't think I've done anything like this for the longest time.
I know. I'm like pure keeping it secret from everyone.
Oh yeah, of course.
Like mother-in-law. Like, yeah, I'm still working, by the way. Like, I'm definitely no off. Like,
I know.
You'll need to pick the wee one up from nursery still.
Just holding a pickaxe. Smudging your face with coal. Working so hard.
Aye. Come down to the house. You still in? No, I'm not here.
I know. But do you know what? It's up for the content. I think by next week we'll have some pretty cool updates to share on Call of Duty Black Ops 6, and it's worth mentioning now because it is always one of the biggest games of the year.
I'm going to buy the Battle Pass.
Have you seen all the gift stuff that's been going?
I've not seen anything. I'm going to buy it.
You will love it. It's hilarious.
Right,
just go on the Twitter accounts and just see what they're doing. The marketing has been absolutely bang on.
Can I ask a question about the marketing of Black Ops 6?
Mm-hmm.
The guy that's in everything, the actor guy,
Peter Stormare.
What is this replacer nonsense? What is this?
It's something that they started a few Black Opses ago as part of the campaign, and it's just been getting more and more unhinged. So it's almost like he is there to replace you because you're going to be away playing the game. At least that's what I took from it.
Ah, right, okay.
So he's out there everywhere.
He's everywhere. He replaces everyone.
Because that's the point, because we're all going to be too busy.
Ah, right.
We need a replacer tomorrow.
I don't think anyone would notice the difference between me and Peter Stormare, so I think that's fair enough.
Oh, man. But, fantastic acting chops. Listen, here's Dieter Stark. I'll die on this hill. Lost World Jurassic Park. But of course, I think what we should do is we should get some housekeeping at the road before we get into it, because we've got quite a few spooky, horrific things to talk about today, of course. But before we do that, for those listening, this is the Pixel Parents Podcast, the weekly podcast by parents who game for those who do the same, where each week we discuss all things gaming whilst raising little ones. And if you want to be part of the podcast, come say hello and share your thoughts with us at Pixel_Parents on Twitter, or write to us at pixelparentspodcast@gmail.com. If you like what you hear and you want to support the show, you can leave a 5-star review and share this podcast online with all your friends. Of course, that really helps us out. And of course, thank you to everyone that joins us each and every week. That means the world. And before we progress, should also add that we're on Blue Sky.
I know, we're now on Blue Sky. We're now on that. The other place.
It has been quite lovely. Quite lovely indeed.
I still don't really know how it works, but
so it's basically Twitter without right-wing nutters and ads and Elon Musk shoved down your throat.
That's the best parts of Twitter.
It's just people talking about
their interests and stuff.
It feels like Twitter 12, 13 years ago.
Yeah, I think when I've opened it up, I've told people that I enjoy Dragon Age, and now I have a legion of Dragon Age followers and stuff on my timeline about Dragon Age. So I'm not angry about it.
Beautiful.
It's great. I've seen a lot of weird artwork as well, though. So I mean, I think I've maybe calmed down on the Dragon Age stuff now.
Enthusiastic fan drawings, as I call them. But of course, with all that out the way, Scott, what have you been playing this week?
Good grief, I had a very busy week.
Mm-hmm. Do tell.
So tried my best before my holiday to finish off Silent Hill 2, and I'm pleased to say that I didn't finish it then.
Right, okay.
I finished it when I came home. And this is the Scott Curry official review of Silent Hill 2 remake.
Let's have it. What's the score?
We're hitting off the bat straight with the score.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I have to give, on our scale, Silent Hill 2 remake a 9 out of 10.
Oh, Lord.
It is phenomenal. It is genuinely, like, for what it's set out to do, it has done it perfectly. It never claimed to be a remake of everything that's been done,
mm-hmm.
like, and changing things. It just said we're remaking Silent Hill 2, and that's what they've done.
Yeah.
Like, it's not, they're not reinventing the wheel, but it does everything just so well. Like, you'd think you'd lose all the camera angles and stuff like that from the original. You think you'd lose some of the personality and the charm of the old Silent Hill, but this just has it in spades. Like, I think it's also good that coming off of playing things like Dragon Age, where I'm reading more into the lore and stuff, like reading all the history and all the notes and stuff behind everything that's going on, has really just been a total blast. It's great. And I'm pleased to say that I've fallen in love with James Sutherland. Or Sunderland, one of the two of them. Sunderland, isn't it? He's hilarious. I love him. Like, I love his face. I love everything about him. It's the strangest game ever made, I think.
Let me ask, so 9, you've given it a 9, which is outstanding on our scale.
It is outstanding.
A couple of things off the bat. So could you just kind of give a quick summary of what Silent Hill 2 is for people that may not be aware of whatever this somehow.
Well versed. Silent Hill 2 is a horror. It's a horror game. It's an adventure where you play as James Sunderland, who is looking for his wife Maria in the fictional town of Silent Hill. Fans of the Silent Hill series will know that comes with its own challenges, but you find out loads about the town and its inhabitants and where it's all come from and things as well. But the real star of the show is James, and what they're able to do with the character models and everything now. You couldn't have done that however many years it was ago. So, but for people who haven't played it, I think that I've seen a lot of stuff online, people saying this is their first Silent Hill game and they've loved it. So if you're looking for the spooks and stuff this Halloween period, then I think this is a good place to start. It's great. Genuinely, I thought when I first seen it announced, I was like, nah, like, we don't need this. But I think now this is the standard bearer for these kind of remakes now.
Oh wow.
I think Bloober Team will go and do 3, could potentially go back and remake the original Silent Hill. It's honestly outstanding.
So in terms of it being a remake, because this has just had nothing but glowing praise from yourself and a lot of other places online. Is it, how faithful is it? Did they add anything new into it? What's the deal in terms of the job they've done?
I think I'm familiar with the old Silent Hill 2, right? But not in a way that I can tell you like beat by beat what happens. I know the main story points, but I think that there's a lot more interactivity in this one. You can go and visit a lot more of the areas in Silent Hill, and like part of the fun is that you have this melee weapon that you have, like a steel pipe and things like that, and you can just smash every window in Silent Hill. You can literally go and demolish. You get an achievement for it for just tanning in windows. It's great. But all the enemy designs are as faithful as you can remember. Hot nurses, hot weird nurses, like seeing them in 4K. Thanks, Bloober team.
Enthusiastic fan.
Oh my god, yeah. The weird. I've put up so many pictures and videos of these bloody mannequins because they pop out everywhere, and it's not scary. It's just like you see them in places so they can be hiding under like a shelf, like a kitchen worktop, and you're just looking at them and they don't move, and then you turn away for a second, they start running at you. It's so funny, but they're so quick. Like it's disgusting how quick they are. But I kind of thought, how are they going to pull off? Because you've got the town of Silent Hill, but it's not just all about that. You've got the other place as well, and I was worried about how they would pull that off. But genuinely, never been more impressed. Like it was disgusting how impressed I was playing this game, and it's been like I'm now on a pure Silent Hill high. Like want to go and play every single Silent Hill game ever made.
Oh, that's great.
So I think that if this is the beginning of the Bloober team remake anthology, go and do it. Just give them all the money they need and go and do it, because Konami don't need to do anything here.
Yeah,
like everything's in the bag for them. So those were the kind of the main things I put down. As faithful as a retelling. Maria, oh my god, Maria. Yeah. Toluca Prison, one of the areas in it, Toluca Prison, I think it's like the third section in it, is horrible. It is so claustrophobic. Like you're watching for enemies climbing on the walls, and it's just dark. Like you've got your flashlight, but I can only see as close as I'm sitting to you right now. 1 foot away from your face. Do you know what I mean? Not literally, but you can only see that far, and you're hearing all these creepy noises. I played it all with headphones in. So I'm just playing it. You can see everything sort of rattling around and all these things moving about, and it's like, this is what this should be. It's not scary. Like these games aren't. I'm not playing this like in fear of what's happening. I'm just playing it because it's creepy as all hell.
Yeah,
and it embraces that. Like some of the movements and stuff are naturally not where they are. Like you hear footsteps and stuff, and it's footsteps that are coming from like the top left, but enemies are over there. So it's completely messing with your head, and that's the kind of point of it all.
Yeah. Always has been the more psychological horror.
It does it so well. In Pyramid Head, the henchest Pyramid Head person that you've ever seen in your life. So honestly, I think that if I could recommend it enough, I mean, I don't think I could. I don't think words do it justice. I think that if you're looking for something to play, not a massive game, like 20 hours maybe, depending on how long you take to play it. It didn't take. I don't think it took me that, but you could go through and do all the different endings and stuff. But I want to play it again. That's the thing. Like I'm kind of forcing myself to play other games at the moment, but I want to play back through it again because I just had a blast with it.
So what's your closing thoughts then to wrap up your Silent Hill 2 review, which has been nothing but glowing?
I think that, as I say, I think if this is the beginning of remaking all these Silent Hill games, then just let them do it. Pass the baton and just go for it. But a round of applause for Bloober Team, because nobody expected it. No, they didn't. They really didn't. So it's just been great. And then that leads me on to the next game that I've been playing, which has been Metaphor Re Fantasio. Oh yes, of course. The big one. I am trying to get this right. I'm about 20 hours into it.
Oof, that's pretty decent.
I've not been sleeping very well because it's cold. So and the coughing and stuff like that. Like I go and lie down and then I start coughing. I'm like, fuck this. I'm just going to go and play my PlayStation for the next 4 hours. But I'm about 20 hours into it, so I played the demo, and the progress carries over. So maybe only 10 hours since that, but I don't really know how I feel about it yet.
Mm-hmm. Is it a slow burner, do you think? Or a very slow burner in that case?
You tend to find that, the Atlas games that are kind of the Persona series it takes you a while to get into it.
Mm-hmm.
There's always this big, not a tutorial section, but it's like a prologue where it explains everything that you need to do. It kind of introduces you to some of the characters and stuff, and then you get let loose. But with this, it's always like you start to build some momentum, and then it drags you right back.
Oh, really?
There's always story stuff happening, which is great if you're into that. But I think with the Persona series, you're kind of left to your own devices, and you can do whatever you want for the most part. But with this, I kind of feel that it's like it might change. I've still it's like a dog with still having its collar, its lead on. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it wants to go and play with the ball and run about with it, but it's still got that lead on. So I'm kind of feeling a wee bit like, let's get to the good stuff now, like, because you can tell it's going to get there. But for the most part, I'm enjoying it. Like, it doesn't sound like I am, but it's everything that you come to expect from these kind of games. All the characters have that relationship. Your character, you can make them, smart. You can do everything you want with them. You can increase all these royal virtues, they call it, like wisdom and tolerance and stuff like that. You can change all that, but part of the joy in these games is just the relationships that you build with all the characters.
Yeah.
And the stories that they tell and everything that you find out about the world during that. And there's a lot of it.
Mm-hmm.
There really is a lot of it, but the main meat of this game and where it really stands out is through the whole archetype thing. It's this system where in the old Persona games, you would have personas, you would use them, and they would give you abilities like, fire, ice, blah, blah, blah. But with this, it's like archetypes, so you can choose one. Mm-hmm. So, like, there's warrior, for example, and you have like a set of moves that you can use with that. But then you can choose another archetype. So you might want to change, but then you can take stuff from that and carry it over a wee bit. It's cool, but it kind of lends itself to a lot of like trial and error. Yeah. And then as your party grows, you can then change. You can change their archetypes and stuff and really sort of make a team of it. So it's like you are team building at that point, and it's really cool that way. But as I say, I'm not. I came into it with a lot of high expectations, but I think I've come off the back of Persona 3 Reload that I loved that game.
Yeah.
Lived and breathed it for about 80 hours. So, it took over my life. But with this, it's like, let's just start moving. I don't think it looks as good as Persona. Like, I don't think it runs as well. There's something about it that kind of looks a wee bit off. Mm-hmm. But that might just be me.
Could just be the art style.
I think there's it's always, it just seems a bit less. I don't know. All the characters seem really like thinly drawn lined. Like they're drawn up with like a biro. Do you know what I mean? Like it's like tiny wee lines, but all the characters are cool. Like for what I've learned of it, it's cool. So I'll keep on going with it, and I'll report back in a year's time when it's finished.
I was going to say because this probably couldn't have picked a worse time to start playing that game. To be honest, we're 2 weeks away from Dragon Age the Veilguard.
It's disgusting.
Which is now officially the big release now this window. So
it's horrible. But yeah, I'm just like games are defeating me at the moment, and then we've also got COD and stuff. I'm just like, good grief, when's it bloody end? Like, I know we're doing this not as a job, but we're doing this as like a hobby.
Yeah,
I can't imagine. You can imagine playing games for a living because you would play them and then do everything around that, but it's just like, how do you get on with life? Like, how do you? Yeah,
that would be where it becomes difficult. I could do it maybe 10 years ago. Mm-hmm. Now, juggling the kids and all that as well, it's just there's only so many hours in the day.
It's like, wife comes home, you're sitting playing the PlayStation. It's like, I need to do this for my work. Like, actually, I need to sit here and play FIFA for my work. Like, no, wouldn't they fly?
No. I don't think I could ever make that fly, no matter how much money it was bringing.
It's disgusting. Like, and yeah, it's just.
Oh,
good grief.
Yeah, it's that time of year, fireworks, folks. But yeah, I suppose maybe if we married gamers, that would be different. But I don't know if we're in the minority or the majority.
Majority.
In terms of like, I would say we're in the majority. It's like most people I know that are gamers, their partners aren't.
Mhm.
It's the rare occurrence where they are. You know what I mean? Because
yeah.
it's just it's like any other hobby. You know,
Aye, it's true. Aye.
very much one. You usually tend to find one half of the partners are a bit more hobby centric than the
Aye,
other.
yeah.
But don't get me wrong. Sometimes I would be really cool. I would love to sit and play like some games with my wife and that, but it's just not going to fly. So she can sit and listen to me going, "No, you need to watch this show, The Last of Us," and they end up loving it. So it's good that they're on other mediums. But I'm going off piste here. So busy week for you, Scott.
It's horrible.
Very busy week.
Aye.
I've had a. Do you know? I've played a lot of games this week. I've been dipping in and out of stuff, experimenting, and I am playing the market now because I'm just waiting in Dragon Age. That's me. I'm just like, I am not getting committed to anything, so I'm flirting with you and you and you. All games are open here, so I've really just kind of been trying to get into the Halloween spooky season type vibe. So I actually started at the weekend there. My wife actually had to go to a wedding for someone in her work, so I stayed home with the kids, and I just thought I'm just going to explore what's on PlayStation Plus. So I started with the Medieval remake, the PlayStation 4 one. It was a great wee nostalgia hit, you know, because I loved the original when I was a kid. But you know, damn, it's like it would have been so much better if it was a little bit more modern.
Yeah.
Even though, as I was tweeting about this, it's kind of the progenitor of Souls games. You know, shield up, come at me. But I think if you just modernise it, just a tweak, just a tad, it could really, really hit. When I'm talking about a game that's been out there for about 5 years, a lot of fun though, but it really did feel like such a good wee Halloween game. It reminded me so much of the first time playing it, rented it
Yes.
on a Friday after school and playing that for the weekend. It was excellent.
I remember it was on a demo.
Yes.
It was like a demo disc with it on it.
That's it. So Daniel Fortescue, or Fortescue.
That's what I was going to say. I can remember his name. I was going to like Mr. E. Bigglesworth or something like that. I can remember it.
So we're going to get a sequel actually. But I do. It was that's where I started. I've been playing a lot because last week I was on holiday from work, so I played a lot of Marvel Snap. But because they released a new high voltage mode,
Ooh,
which
danger.
they have been dying for, which is three turns, not 6, no loss, penalties, and it's just like you get extra energy. So it is absolute balls to the wall madness, right? And it's been fantastic. So I've been playing that so much to the point now I'm feeling a little bit burnt out, so I'm just easing back a wee bit. But that's been good because again, it's been something else just to kind of.
How is that affecting your community scores?
I have been number 1 3 weeks in a row. I think so. We need 4,000 points a week. So the first week I got 14k, second week 15, and last week I got 20k. So it's been. So I'm actively taking a step back because I'm thinking I don't want to be that guy in the group. Let someone else enjoy being number 1. So I'm like, I'll just do the 4k and I'll just not do bounties this week. So plus I can't be bothered. But
say that now.
I know. You have
Tune
the
in next week.
trophy.
Tune in next week when he's broken it.
No. I think there's one guy in second place in the team, and he's been gunning for me. But I just kept on like doing like the wee extra stretch, and I'm like, nah, I'm not going to do that because he's obviously.
You should do it. He gets like 14,000. You get 14,001.
I know. It's like just leave it a couple of days, let him get settled. No, I think he deserves to have that joy of being number 1. You get nothing for it other than the wee star next to your name. But the one thing that so I was saying, I was flirting with the market, playing a few games, and all I'm thinking about now is Dragon Age. Like I want to immerse myself in that, but take my time. So it might be like when we started the podcast, I'm not going to be like, here's my review after 2 weeks.
Yeah.
We're probably going to be talking about that in installments, you know, because I want to take my time with it. I've waited 10 years for this game.
It's true.
So I want to take my time. And I thought, right, what am I going to do? Halloween approaching. And I went back and I re-downloaded Midnight Suns because I'm thinking, okay, a little bit of witchcraft, coven action. And a while ago I had mentioned that I went back and it didn't keep my save. So I downloaded it again, just like, I'll just start a new character.
Yeah.
I'll just go and play for a couple of hours. And I got to start it up, and as if by magic, there it was, continue. And I had got into my old save again. Absolute beauty. So as the game, you will spend a lot of time unlocking, household names, your Spider-Mans, your Wolverines, and so on and so forth. Scarlet Witch, you name it.
Yeah.
So I went back and to do the last of the story. So I had about 10% left to do. And it's been great, but I've just not even been focusing on that. I've just been doing like all the wee side challenges and stuff, just because I thought I better do that to get used to the combat system.
Yeah.
But God, it's such a gem, and it's such a weird game. Like I couldn't recommend it enough to people because I can't describe it. I really can't. It's like, it's a turn-based, card-based combat system featuring Marvel characters, but it's also an RPG that also features deep relationships and a day-night cycle where you have to do your research, and it feels almost a bit like a games as service at points in terms of I'm doing my daily challenges, but that type of stuff. But it's that gameplay loop. Get up in the morning, you have to go speak to a few people, you start off some research, do your training, then you do everything else in between, pick up some resources, pick a mission, do that, you're back at night time, the same thing, talk to a few other people, and then it's constantly just giving you those breadcrumbs to like up your relationship scores and stuff like that. And you can do weird activities. You can go like in the pool, you can go bird watching. It's bizarre.
Do you know what it sounds like?
What?
It sounds like a Persona game.
I was going to say, yeah. Just without the migraines, but it's
How dare you?
I'm sorry, it's like the styling in that. I'm sorry. I took one look at it and I'm like, I need an ibuprofen. It's far too much, man. But and that's the other thing. Midnight Suns, it doesn't look great.
Yeah,
it's like borderline potato physics and everything, because the MCU ruins anything that's not MCU related in our head. Well, like this feels a bit like Poundland Marvel, but it works. I remember when I first booted it up, right?
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
And I first saw Iron Man, and I'm like, oh no! Like, Iron Man's probably one of the worst design characters in it. But for some strange reason, you just go with it.
Yeah.
And it was one of the most bonkers and still to this day weird but brilliant games I've ever played. And I feel so bad because it's like I reckon in about 10 years' time, people will be talking about that as like one of the best games that nobody played, because I can't quite describe it. It's just one of those rare titles that comes along, and it's just the sum of its parts. It's not really one thing you can cling to, like, oh, you've got to play this for the combat, you've got to play this for the story.
It's just like an all round. It's like an all singing, all dancing thing.
Exactly. And it's so I've been enjoying that, and I thought it's came along at the right time.
Aye.
Outside of that, of course, because I had to stop playing FC25. I had to, that's became like borderline, a cathartic process for me, because it's like, I can fix Manchester United, I can do it, and I have been. But
tell me this: see, when you play as a manager, do you make yourself, or do you just pick preset weird face manager?
Just preset weird face manager, just because I can't be bothered.
Aye, I sometimes pick like a manager who is already in the league. Previously you could do that as well.
They've got loads of options now this year, and I've put nearly 50 hours into the career mode, which
horrendous. That's disgusting. Honestly disgusting.
Considering I think last year I put a collective like 37 hours in. I don't know what's happened this year, but it might be something to do with, my wife watching a little bit more TV in the portal.
Yeah.
So, hey-o. But I'm going to move on now. So we've actually got another piece of a listener mail come in, and it's once again Adam Cuddles Miller has wrote in. Cuddles. Actually, Cuddles, I might change that to Cuddles. You'll enjoy that. No, but he's wrote into the show, and he's looking for some advice this time, right? And it's a really, really good question he's put in. So, like myself, he is a parent to a child with autism, and he's keen to get them into gaming. So he's asking what games with simple controls we would recommend on PS4 to help them make the jump from tablet gaming. So things like, Temple Run.
Yeah.
So I thought this was a really cracking question, because it's like, I can't just go straight into the classic, platformers. So I've taken a strategic view, right? strategic view. And I'd recommend, first of all, a strategy to play simple and work your way up from there. So purely to get more acquainted with the ergonomic control.
Mm-hmm.
And it's actually, this isn't just applicable to a child with autism. I actually think I'm going to do this with my son, because we've been playing Astrobot.
Yeah.
And you get so frustrated at basic things like, you do the double jump, the laser beams come at the bottom. You just can't do it.
Yeah.
I'm like, maybe this is a bit too much. So I'm going to try this myself with him. But I thought this would work for any child if you're trying to get them into gaming. But the PlayStation 4, of course, is a step up from the tablet, isn't it?
Yeah.
And the DualSense 4, it's a little bit wider, so I think it's actually probably a bit better for kids to hold.
Yeah.
Which is a good one. But patience will prevail for those special memories together. But the games that come to mind, I'm going to just list them off, and I'm going to just see what you think. And
Okay.
you can list some ones, right? So I thought, start with Journey.
Yes. Yeah.
Because it's very, very simple to control.
Mm-hmm.
It has a very simple but engaging art style.
Mm-hmm.
So nothing too overwhelming action-wise. I'm thinking, don't want something overstimulating as well.
Yeah.
Then I thought, classic, but Minecraft. I'm pretty sure, is that on PS4?
You can get it on PS4.
Now, stay with me.
Yeah,
stay
no,
with me.
I know, yeah.
But this is now you're going away from a more 2.5D style into the more 3D realm.
Yeah.
But you can put on the casual mode, so it's purely just move about. Just I've tried this with my son, and he does love it. Very simple to control.
Mm-hmm.
He's terrible at it.
Yeah.
He's not playing the game. I just put it on. I don't know if it's like the creator mode. I don't know. Like, I still don't get Minecraft, right? Like, cards on the table. I don't get it. I think the game is meh, but the kids can't seem to get enough of it. And the art style, again, there's something about it. So you can put on this casual mode,
Yeah.
equip anything. It's like, right, there's the trigger, and what we're going to focus on is the two joysticks. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
So you can use them, move about, get used to that space. Then I thought, let's put it up a wee notch. Sonic Mania. Because it's 2D, but you're starting to introduce the buttons as well as your directional ones, because, again, tried this with my son, and I thought, Sonic.
Yeah.
But I actually realised he's not ready for that yet. So this is over time.
Yeah.
Because you need to get used to the timing of
Yes,
buttons.
that's going to say
point.
with Sonic as well. It's very much you think in your head you think it's left to right,
No,
but there's a lot of like up and down and right and left and all the way up. So yeah, I know what you're saying.
Think of the games
But the
that's
progression.
come before it. So the progression. So you're starting to get used to the timing
Yeah.
of it as well, and up and down. Then from that, the Lego titles.
Yes.
That once they're ready, you feel to go up to that 3D movement. A great shout, because it is simple enough to control
Put it together.
at that point, but it's satisfying. The feedback audio when you're building stuff.
No, you can put it together.
You can play it together as well, so you can kind of co-pilot with them a little bit.
Yeah.
Which is, you've got Lego Jurassic World, there's Lego Star Wars, there's Lego Harry Potter, there's so many Lego titles on the PlayStation 4 in particular.
Mm-hmm.
And then at that point, if you've cracked that, really I'd just look to fold in more involved titles such as Crash Bandicoot, Insane Trilogy, Little Big Planet. Any type of platform is ideal for younger kids at that point.
Yeah.
And then they're better with the controller. But, best of luck. I'd love to hear how they get on.
I would love to hear back. It's not something that I have any experience in. I don't have to think about it. I've not had to think about it. I think it's interesting how you have to approach it though.
Absolutely.
Because it's very much baby steps. Like that way. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not go and play Dark Souls. Do you know what I mean? Like, throw them in the Elden Ring. Like, do you know what I mean? It's not as simple as that. But there's lots of games out there. Like, that's the thing. There's lots of games, and if you utilize PlayStation Plus, you can try it and just see how it hits.
Absolutely.
Things like you've said, Journey. Things like Flower.
Yep.
I'm thinking like Stardew Valley and stuff like that as well, potentially. But then you're getting into like you have to then, but you don't. Stardew Valley's the game that you make it. Do you know what I mean? So
Exactly.
it could just be the routine.
Yeah.
Go fishing, like, do you know what I mean? It's just things like that. Like,
And the caveat being as well, obviously every child's different. I mean, I've had probably as disastrous an experience as you could imagine with my daughter who has autism, and she showed more of an interesting game when she was younger.
Yeah.
Now it's kind of going away, so she'll kind of view that almost as like a TV character, if anything else.
Mm-hmm.
And we tried her with like this the Barbie Dream House game.
But that's.
I could not. It was.
I think
laughable.
for anyone, like you obviously gave that to me to play with my daughter, and it's not.
It's not what she wasn't playing it.
Yeah.
I was co-piloting, so I was basically taking control for her. But it was too overwhelming.
It's too much.
You know your child best.
Try to think of like other games as well. Like once you get to a place where you feel they could comprehend and like manage it, like games like No Man's Sky.
No Man's Sky. I was even thinking like the Telltale type games, the ones that aren't like
Walking Dead.
See, like Tales from the Borderlands.
Yeah.
Pretty decent. There's a Jurassic Park one, which isn't great, but you've got to think about kids with dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Even the ones that are very narrative based. I mean, there was a part of me, it's like, life is strange, but it's touching on more
very
mature
much,
teen things, so I would avoid that. But those type of point and clicky, not point and click, sorry, those type of like narrative based, simple decision making games.
Yeah. Senua's Sacrifice.
Well, absolutely not.
It's an interesting question, and I'd love to hear back about what the decision that he makes on it, because there's a a million games out there that you could potentially play. It's just finding the right one that hits.
Yeah, and Little Big Planet as well.
Yeah.
3 in particular, Little Big Planet 3 could have legs, but listen, Colonels, best of luck, and please do write in and let us know how you're getting on. Do you think the recommendations that we're talking about is worthwhile? If not, we'll have another crack at it. We'd love to hear. But I think we should move on to our main topic.
Oh, God.
As I mentioned at the start of the show, it is the Halloween special, right? So I thought, what can we do that's going to terrify people? It's going to shock people and horrify. So this week's main topic is parenthesis /our most horrific gaming takes. Because I thought it'd be too easy for us to just sit here and talk about scary games and all the rest of that. I thought, no, let's just go down this route instead. So we're going to sit and put people's hairs on end by talking about our most horrific gaming takes. Maybe pointing at a few other ones as well. I should add the caveat, Scott doesn't know mine. I don't know Scott's. And I'm filled with absolute dread and fear. So I hope this isn't our last podcast.
Oh, man.
And we are not pivoting to a grifter cast. I should add that point as well. This is all tongue in cheek, but here we go. Scott, why don't you hit with the first one and I'll give you one back.
I'm not excited about this, but I also want to preface this in that hot takes and takes in general are personal. I'm not going to judge you for your takes, and I don't want any judgment for my takes.
No, not at all.
Okay? Now, in jest, some of these are horrendous.
Oh my God.
Right? Some not in a way that's like that's going to get us booted off the internet. But some of them are.
You've got a queue of people.
I do. And I'm still doubling down on Megan Trainor.
Oh Jesus.
Still doing it. But you actually mentioned a character 5 minutes ago.
Right. Okay.
Oh, voice is shaking.
I'm going to come with you.
So, I think Crash Bandicoot and the Crash Bandicoot series are shite.
Oh my God.
I think him as a mascot is one of the most infuriating things to look at. That stupid man in the costume that runs about, the series of ads where you'd see him running about, get him to fuck. Like, honestly, the best thing that's happened to him is now this Toys for Bob company can't make the games anymore because Xbox ruined them.
Oh my God.
Crash 1, a mess. The worst. Crash 2, significantly better. But why did we have to make more? The best Crash Bandicoot game is Crash Team Racing. I don't need anything more. And I don't rate him at all. I hate him. I hate everything about him. See when I see his face on that box art in the first game, like, get it away from me.
Get it to bucket.
It ruined Uncharted 4. It ruined it.
Oh man. Okay, you've got things off to a good start. Very spicy. I think we're at least at a jalapeno range just now. Yes, of course. Wow.
I'd even double down and say that Spyro's worse as well.
Oh gee. Oh man. Right. Okay. We did promise Shock and Horrify, of course, for the season. This is the only time we're going to be able to do this. Okay, Scott, okay.
I'm actually physically angry now.
I know, right, I've got to try and get you calmed down.
I'm only kidding, man. I'm kidding.
I've got a nice easy one that shouldn't come as too much of a surprise.
Okay.
To kick off with, not even a rebuttal, right? But Ubisoft games are not bad. They're hated purely for clout, right? I don't think that they're inherently bad, right? In fact, the formula for open world games, they work bloody well, right? In fact, they should be more lauded as an innovative way to make these games more easy to engage and navigate with. And I'm sick of pretending that it's not. They put out fucking good quality games all the time, but all I see on the internet is like it's a Ubisoft, and I'm like, no, I will die in this hill. I will die in this. Even Outlaws, right? If you are consistently putting out 7 out of 10s,
That's good.
exactly.
Yeah.
If you do that in your work, you're getting paid.
Yes.
Now, that I'm not defending Ubisoft
I
and
know.
their company and their practices, but the games that they're putting out, yes.
Yeah.
And the reason why they're having that downfall, I mean, that's another subject entirely. You know what I mean? They probably deserve that with their practices.
Aye.
But the output up till now has been good, and they're not bad.
Yeah.
That's the point I'm making. So yeah, nice easy one.
It's a good one for you
Easy
because
one.
it's. I think anyone could have told you that.
The
I
exercise.
don't even think it's a take. That's just something that you have tattooed on your body somewhere.
That's true.
It's like that film Memento. It's like Ubisoft games are not bad.
So I wake up in the morning.
It's tattooed from arm to arm. Ubisoft games are not bad. They are actually good.
I know, just like but Twitter told me otherwise. Anyway,
You look at a picture of Jeff Keighley behind. It's like, don't believe his lies.
mine's are going to ramp up, so that's an easy one, right? Light spice.
I'm coming hard again. I personally prefer God of War 2018 over Ragnarok.
Okay.
I thought Ragnarok was a mess.
Oh my god. Right, okay.
The introduction of Odin and Thor and stuff is great. It's class as characters, but it was a total mess. You've got Thor's daughter in there. Right? It's too much. It's just too much. The pacing, the characters in 2018, the stakes in 2018, I just thought was so much better than Ragnarok.
Okay.
I don't like the way that you have to traverse the world in Ragnarok on the dogs and that. Like, I don't like it. I think it's a great game. No doubt about that. It's like we're talking difference between an 8 and a 10 in my eyes. Do you know what I mean? Like,
even an 8.
I know, but
coming
like,
for you.
I just think the best parts of Ragnarok are when it's the beginning where, you know, Kratos and Thor fight. And there's that.
That was absolutely incredible.
And that's the only part of the game where I was like, wow. The rest of it.
Did that come out last year or the year before?
I think it was last year, but I could be wrong.
That was yeah. So I don't think it's been out long enough for me to go fully into spoilers. There's a couple of moments in that though that were absolutely fantastic, and there's a bit towards the end where I was like, right, okay, damn.
But it's just 2018 is better in my head. Everything I've played 2018 3 times. I've played Ragnarok once, right?
There you go. Played it another 2 times. And
I couldn't sit through it. Like, see when it opens up into that world of the other place where you go to and you fight all the big flying dragon things. It's like, that's cool, but it makes no sense. Like, it's just it's big for big's sake at that point.
Okay. See.
My next one's the stinker here.
Yeah, well, I've got one that I know is going to might make you scream later, right? Not in a good way, but
Christ, all right, okay.
That's another podcast. My next one here, right, to shock and horrify yourself and the audience. The saying gaming isn't as good as it used to be is tosh, and out she is a gaming boomer in my eyes, right? I don't think gaming is becoming more boring. I really don't. I think we're just getting older, and most of the old games that we're talking about live best in the memory.
Yeah.
When we revisit them, it's usually, when we revisit them, they're usually not as good mechanically, gameplay wise, or graphically. In fact, if anything, it can be quite disenfranchising moment when you go back to some of these games. Plus, it's a case I've been more fond of the context around it than anything else. Now, you're old and knackered all the time, and of course you're not going to enjoy things the same way. But I think it's actually, I find it to be a bit of a slap in the face to people within the industry now that are doing just magical things.
Yeah,
and
100%.
To completely, it gathers pace with some old grumbly farts like ourselves, but it's not that gaming has changed. You have changed.
You have changed, yeah.
And that's just something I thought I would exercise now that we're getting all over chest.
Getting all the farts out.
Yes, indeed. But there's been some games I've went back to. Even, what was it? Last week we were talking about wrestling games.
Yeah.
When you go back to them, a total mess.
Yeah, they're horrible.
Particularly the N64 ones, where it's just like, oh, it's a collection of spheres on top of each other, just lifting each other's up. Or if you go back to even like ones I'm fond of, like SmackDown 2 Know Your Role, looks like arse.
Yeah.
And it kind of plays like arse a little bit. I mean, they still pick up and play in these cases, but they had to be. But when you go back to it and looking at it now, it's like it's so fast. It's like, so fast.
It's the worst thing about things like, PlayStation Plus Premium and like Nintendo Switch Online. It's like, it's great having ability to go and play these games, but I can count on one hand how many games I've gone back and played and actually sat down for a full session with and been like, that was great. Like, Tekken 2 was the only game that I've ever done it with, and I was like, I could take it or leave it, but like...
But you're right.
It's just like with Nintendo Switch Online, it's like, I can play Golden Sun again. It's just amazing. I play it for 45 minutes and go, that's just shite. Like, I can't be bothered doing it. That's a hot take as well, but Golden Sun is one of my favourite games ever, but it's like, I couldn't sit and do it because I don't have that memory. Like, I don't have that feeling that I had back in whenever it was that I played it. Do you know what I mean? So I totally get what you're saying. Yours are very like cromulent and
it's no, I'm keeping them for the end, mate. So
keeping the big ones.
These are your starters, right? These are just simply some pakoras, some poppadoms, some deep fried mozzarella, whatever you're getting for a starter. The main course, the big spicy curries are coming next. So, but I will finish in saying one big disenfranchising moment I had with exactly that was going back and replaying Dino Crisis on PlayStation Plus over the past couple of weeks. That game handles like a 3-wheeled shopping trolley.
Yep.
Like complete arse, and which is why I want it remade. That's it.
Makes sense. It makes too much sense. Yeah.
And that's why we're clamouring for it. Anyway, I digress. Taz time when you go.
God, this is the one that I'm not looking forward to.
I'm not either. I'll even know what it is. I can see it in your face.
It involves 2 games.
Right, okay.
2 franchises, actually. And those franchises are from one of, if not the biggest developer in the history of games.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
And those games are Grand Theft Auto and Red Dead Redemption.
Right, okay.
Now, let me say, I loved my time playing these games. But I do not think any of Grand Theft Autos, and I'm talking every one of them, any of the Red Dead Redemption games are great video games.
Okay.
Now, hear me out on this.
Okay, let's go.
I don't think they have... I don't think they offer enough variety. I think that for every Grand Theft Auto, the concept is the same. Pick up a gun, go and shoot people, drive about. Same thing with Red Dead Redemption, but on horseback. Like, that's your whack with it. Where these games shine is within the storytelling. Red Dead Redemption 2 could have been a TV series, for all I care. Do you know what I mean? Like, I love Red Dead Redemption 2. Don't get me wrong, right? But I just don't think that any of these games are great video games. Like, I don't play them and think I'm having a great time with this game. Like, I love everything I'm doing. Some of the minutiae in with Red Dead Redemption 2, I don't know if I used that word correctly, but I'm saying it. But some of the daft wee things you're doing in that game, it's just like, why do I have to open every fucking drawer in this house to find pomade? Do you know what I mean? Like, why am I doing this? Why do I have to lug about pigs on my horse's ass. Like, it's just it's great, and it sort of it creates this tiny moment in a game, but it's like I'm playing this game for hundreds of hours at this point. Like, it is not fun to play. I don't think it's great fun to play. And the same with Grand Theft Auto. See, after you finish the story, what do?
You hunt down a lot of miscellaneous stuff and side quests. But, I mean, I'll say this to you, someone that 100% to GTA 5. There isn't. It's kind of like it's a sandbox. So you make your own fun. But you're right.
It's not. There's not much there. It's like with Grand Theft Auto Online. Like we all lost interest in that and then started to role play in it.
Yeah,
and that's fine. But you're creating your own video game at that point in time. It becomes Ark at that point. Do you know what I mean? Like
right.
It's just.
I mean, it's a very common complaint for both those games or series. Not so much the first Red Dead Redemption, but the second one for sure. Yeah, like that's probably the most common one. But it's like that game pushed you further than any other game that didn't say it was an RPG to role play. It wanted you to literally feel every footstep that Arthur made, and I get it. It can be a total slog. I mean, how many times have you spoke to somebody in passing about Red Dead Redemption 2? It's like, get past the opening.
Yeah.
And it opens. And it's like, there's so much in there to appreciate. But you're right. I mean, I don't want GTA 6 to just be...
To be that. Like,
that
it needs to be, there needs to be
Miami
more
skin.
in it now. Like, it's just... It's... Like, I think... There's just not enough game in it for me. Like, it's... I'll play it because it's Grand Theft Auto 6 and I want to experience the story. Like, the best part of 5 is the relationship between Michael, Trevor, and Franklin. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's the best part of it.
And the music.
Right? But that's what you're playing it for. Like,
it's total package stuff. Isn't it?
But it's just the game in itself is just not. I don't think it's fun anymore. Like, how many times can we make the same game over and over and over again?
I mean, yeah. I mean,
how do they get away with it and Ubisoft don't?
Exactly.
Let's
You're right. In the sense
poke the bear.
I do share the concern. Like to stay on it for a moment, is with Grand Theft Auto 6, I have thought about that. It's like it can't just be GTA 5 again. It's not going to be Red Dead 2. They're not going to be like, oh look, there's a dog and its balls will shrink in the cold, you know, just like they did with the horses. It's going to be like it can't just feel like the same, you know, right bumper to cover, left weapon wheel.
But it
has to have something in it, because don't forget, in GTA 4 to 5, like they were going down this laborious route, and GTA 5 to Red Dead 2, it's like, right, and I look at it as the footsteps, your shoes felt increasingly more made of like cement in each one of those games. I would love it if it was just a bit more snappy and just a wee bit more fluid, as opposed to deliberate. Like, you know, everything just has too much of a bit too much of a weight. And I say this as someone who, I'm not in full agreement here, but it's not about agreeing. It's like I do think that there's still great video games, but that's, again,
I'm not saying they're not great video games. I'm just saying they're not.
All right.
They're not
good games.
They're not. They don't have enough video game in it.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Like, if that makes any sense, it's like there's not enough variety in the things that you do and the actual video gaminess part of it that really holds my.
Would they benefit then from taking a more RPG style approach and be like, listen, we've just pivoted now, and it's like, if you're doing all these actions and at least you're getting something back. I think the thing that a lot of people piss people off with Red Dead 2 is you're doing all these laborious things and you get nothing back for it. Nothing back.
It's the only game that I think done it in a way was Vice City, where you could go and you could buy houses and you could do all these daft wee things with it.
What about San Andreas with the actual mini RPG?
I don't think it done it as well. Like, you could make thingy fat, like
or swole.
Swole. He was always fat for me, but it's just. Aye, that's my thoughts, and I don't know. I don't think they're not going to reinvent the wheel with it because it's worked up until now.
Okay.
My fears with Grand Theft Auto at the moment, just to end this, is that we now live in a society.
Oh God,
quoting the Joker, where anything remotely woke or like anything with an opinion is immediately hounded. I can't see a world where this game comes out. It has to toe. It can either be completely outlandish on both sides, or it has to toe a line in between, because it's going to fall in one of these places and going to be ripped to shreds.
Well, Grand Theft Auto at its core has always been a satire of American society at that certain time period, and you're right. I think that's the way it goes, because the last one they're talking about, the economy crash and all the rest of it, pursuit of the almighty dollar. This one, you're right, it's so ripe. I wonder if that's why they've picked Miami, which is the heart of Trump country, and if they skewered that in a way, they could go down the South Park route. The South Park satire's equal on both sides.
Yeah.
Personally, I would love it if they just absolutely skewered in the Rockstar manner of, like, just the way that these grifters are online. Like, everything's, they use the word woke to the point that it has no meaning.
Yeah.
And yeah, fuck them.
It's true. I'm excited to see how that looks. And do you know what? I'll play it and then I'll have this same conversation with you in 2026 when it's actually here. But that's my hottest take. It's just,
really,
I've always kind of thought that.
Do you have any more?
More just up the sleeve?
Yeah, because I've got a few here.
I've got something I can just fire out.
Right. Okay. Well, I've got one here that's designed to absolutely make you scream.
Annoy me. Right. Okay.
Yeah. But I'll keep that. Right. I'll have a couple more in depth ones. Right?
Okay.
And then a few just one sentence ones. Right? So my last in depth one here. Xbox.
Okay.
Have done more to move gaming forward than Nintendo or Sony in the last generation.
100%.
It's spicy though.
Yeah.
It's spicy, and I think what Xbox are aiming to do is light years ahead and likely the destination. We all spoke about that.
Yeah.
We hate it because it's alien, and they're leading from the back on this. I'm in third place, firmly in third place. But Sony and Nintendo are sitting on the backsides for the short-term gains, and long-term, it's probably going to kick their ass. So that's probably my last. Oh, I've got another one there, but it's probably my last in-depth one. I've got some ones that are just designed to trigger Scott.
To annoy me. Right, so I've got three more,
right, okay.
And I'll just fire them out one by one, and
Quick
then we
fire
can.
round.
Pokemon's too big now.
Okay.
What the fuck are Mega Evolutions? Like,
right.
it's obvious what they are, right? But why are they necessary?
Wait, that was gens ago. You need to look at terrestrializing.
So what the fuck is that? Why do we have to mix berries? Like, why are we making shit? Just take it back a step. Like, who are these games made for now? Do you know what I mean? Like, I hate it because I want to play them, and it just puts you off because there's too many daft wee menus and talent contests and all these stupid shite.
I can't recommend. See, there's the thing, like Scarlet, from what I've played of it, is a little bit more streamlined, but it runs terribly.
I played it.
I
played it. It's horrible. I don't like it. An obvious one. I don't care for the Halo or Horizon series.
Okay.
I don't care for them. I think Halo games are all the same. Literally have not changed, and I can't be bothered. I can't be bothered playing them. Like, Master Chief is just the most boring thing to look at, and you don't even look at him. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's so frustrating. Horizon, Aloy looks weird in the first game. Probably better now in the remake. She had a massive head as a child, but
to be fair,
God bless her. God bless her mother. But no wonder did she die?
You really need to play the first game.
Okay, from what in my head I can remember, I don't know, but I just think it's boring. I don't enjoy it. I don't enjoy that. I don't enjoy the open world in it and stuff like that. Cool dinosaur robots are cool, but that's carrying the whole franchise for me. And last one, most obvious one for every single person that has sense: Luigi is better than Mario.
Okay.
And I will put that on my headstone.
I'm with you on that one.
It's just as you grow up, you realise that Luigi is the better character.
Yeah.
And Nintendo need to stand up, take a good look at themselves, and say, "Look, Luigi's better than this stupid wee red guy. He's got more personality. He looks better."
Do you remember about 11 years ago they did that, like the year of Luigi, or maybe 12 years ago when the Wii U came out? It was fantastic.
Not enough.
So
Not
good.
enough.
I've got a few. Yeah, right. Oh man, this is going to be hilarious. First one, Hideo Kojima. He's passed it, and any project from Kojima Productions would have been absolutely slated if it was under any other banner. That's one, right? That's one, right? You can take that because we clutched straws for that, man. We clutched
Yeah.
straws. Titanfall 2's campaign was okay and it gets way too much credit.
The internet is crushed.
Yep, it's listen. It had the time travel mechanic in one of the levels. It was too short. The story was meh, and the voice acting was a bit cheesy. Anyhow, and the last one. This one's all packaged up for Scott.
Oh Christ, right?
Disco Elysium was okay and never a 10.
Oh.
Can we stop pretending?
No,
That's it.
I honestly, I know we said we need to agree, but I don't.
It's do you know, it's a 10 out of 10 for something if you want to go to sleep or if you want to feel clever. But it's
so good.
It's the drive of video games, which is, you know, when everybody Drive came out, it's like 5 out of 5, and it's like, no, it's not. It's so up its own backside at times. It could probably form on an Ouroboros at this point, but yeah, there we go.
It's personal preference.
It is.
I think it's class. I think it's great. I had written another one down.
Oh, go on. Pepper it in.
I think it's obvious, but I think that the Modern Warfare games are shite. I think Call of Duty at its best is Black Ops.
You're 100% correct.
And I'm sick of seeing maps remade for Modern Warfare because they're all terrible. Every single time you play one, it's awful.
Yeah.
If I have to run through that room with the bin with the window up, and if I have to run through that with a wee open area in the middle, I'm literally going to shoot myself. I hate it.
Do you know, on that note, right, this is honestly my last one, but Call of Duty is one of the most consistent gaming experiences that you get every single year, and I don't know why I get slated. Maybe just overexposure, but I'm tired of pretending that it's not a good game.
I know, no, it's true. Because
it does what it says in the tin. You buy that game day one, 60 frames a second, 4K, depends what you're playing on. You very rarely ever see the servers are down.
Aye.
It's all crashed.
It's true. No, it's true.
Aye. It has its problems.
Oh yeah,
microtransactions and Nicki Minaj running about, but
Kevin Spacey in it.
Yes,
but I totally agree with you.
Yeah,
totally agree with you.
So, what one shocked you the most, Scott? I'm intrigued. I think outside of the Disco Elysium one, but
none of them. To be honest with you, it's all things that I've known about you. You're a closet Hideo Kojima hater.
No, it pains me.
You're a non-closet Ubisoft fan.
That's true. Outed not long ago,
and you're almost, you're being paid under the table by Phil Spencer.
Listen, I am Mr. Nintendo apparently. It's the Kojima stuff. It's just I was thinking about that, and I'm like, if this was under any other banner, we would be talking. And I'd always remember when Death Stranding came out. And you saw, don't get me wrong, those type of moments are cool when it's like, it's not all 9s, it's not all 2s.
Yeah.
It's here, there, and everywhere. But the reviews that were the 9s and 10s were soul searching for something that wasn't there. Because I'm like, the problem that he has now in the latter stages of his career is that he's become more style and less substance. And you see that. Like, here's the new jacket that's coming out for the game that's not even fucking here yet. And here's all my Hollywood pals and blah, blah, blah. I don't know. I want to see him just get back to just being weird in the story without visually just being weird first. Like that Metal Gear Solid, yes, there was eccentricities, there was iconic bosses, there was just all these characters with little kind of quirks all the way through it that you loved, but it was grounded.
Yeah.
Grounded within that tactical espionage action. And it did, even like when it didn't really get super weird, I would argue, until the likes of Metal Gear Solid 4.
3, I'd say.
3 was weird, but it still had style.
But you've also got characters like the Fear, and you've got the Fury, and like.
But they're weird, but it
worked within the context of it 100%. And then 4, you've obviously got like Laughing Octopus and
Beauty and the Beast in it.
Beauty and the Beast in that, and you can watch them dance if you wait for long enough.
Laughing Octopus was so cool, but I mean, but then when you take him back into that grounded approach again, Metal Gear Solid 5,
yes,
and let's face it, he dropped the ball. But I know there was things going on between him and Konami, so we'll never know. But then you let him off the leash, and sometimes
it's
the most creative minds do need a little bit of a box to play with them. That's all I'll say.
It remains to be seen. With Death Stranding 2, there's obviously
I
We've
want
been
it to
waiting.
be
We've been
amazing.
waiting for about a million years, and we're
Yeah.
only seeing pictures of him eating cheeseburgers at his desk while he's making it and stuff. So
But just like you said with the Grand Theft Auto thing,
Yeah.
it's not like a game.
there's
in
not a
there.
lot of game in it. No,
So
it gamifies the meaningless
I mean,
as part of it. Like
Yeah.
you're having to hold your left and right thumbsticks to walk. It's like, all right, okay,
it's not really respected.
it's not the fun, but it just becomes routine, and that's where you make the game. But I totally agree with you. It's Death Stranding is not a good video game. It's just an experience. Like,
Very relaxing one.
oh, aye,
Yeah.
I mean, 100%. And as you move through it, the areas and stuff get better, and the characters get better, and there's a lot of stuff in there that you can enjoy, but you have to find it.
Yeah,
And
there is
that's-
moments of joy in there. It's not like he's releasing 1 out of 10 games. You know?
Nah, it's just aye. No, I don't think there's anything there that really, from your end, is really like shocked and appalled. I reckon I'm going to come off worse out of this because I've just admitted that I hate Crash Bandicoot.
That's the one that's sticking with me. I'm like, the
No,
man.
it's not good. Like, they're not good. I hate them. I hate everything about them.
Oh man,
Bring back Cool Spot.
You're
But I just
Kill
think
Spot agenda has been known for some
it
time.
has been. I just don't rate it at all.
Well,
It's just an annoying character.
you know, it's well, I hope that our listeners have enjoyed that. I thought we'd just do something a bit different because
Yeah.
we could have easily just sat and talked about scary games, but I thought everybody would do that this week. Let's
Yeah.
just have a bit of fun with it. So, did anything shock you? What are your worst takes? I want to know them. Just tweet or skeet them at us on Blue Sky, Twitter, anywhere. I know skeet.
Skeet.
I know. It's. Do you know what it's like? When I read it, it sounds. I read it in like a peep show voice.
Yeah.
That type of brand of
Mark Corrigan.
naughties type
Skate.
humour. Yeah, I just read it.
Skate me a message.
Yeah, so don't know what it is. It feels perfect for that, but for us, it just sounds terrible.
Aye.
But I want to know the other bad takes.
I'd love
out
to-
there.
I'd
I
love
want
to
know the
hear people's-
spiciest horrific takes.
Aye, the kind of takes that you don't want to tell anyone.
Yes,
Like,
this is a safe.
you
a safe
can't
space.
look your wife in the eye anymore because you know you hate something. It's like
I know, that's it. So, I mean, if anybody out there is a fan of Disco Elysium, let me know. But I think we should move on to the next one. So, of course, it means that it's time for the Pixel Picks Showdown, where each week we each pick a game from our chosen theme and decide which one deserves to live on in the hallowed Pixel Picks list. Halloween Pixel Picks list, maybe?
Halloween.
Doesn't work.
Nah.
Which is our definitive list of the best
Halloween.
games we recommend to pass on to the next generation of gamers. Now, last week's theme, if I'm right in saying, was wrestling, with WWE SmackDown vs. Raw 2006 becoming the latest addition to the list, and a worthy addition, I should add as well. In this week's edition, we're going to be debating what best Halloween game we think should feature on the Pixel Picks list. Scott is holding his arms aloft in celebration. So, of
Ruthless
course,
aggression.
last week's winner goes last, so that'll be you, Scott. So we'll get to it now.
See, when you say that, every single time you say that, it confuses me. Last week when I goes last, I'm like, what? Every single time, I forget. So yeah, you first. I'm interested because I've prepared nothing here.
Again, Halloween special, so we're thinking, right,
I'm going off vibes.
that
Vibes only.
It's purely vibes. So again, we don't just want to be sitting and talking about horror games. I think we could do a bit better than that. A little bit better. I mean, it could have horror elements. You could just pick Resident Evil 2.
It could just be horrible.
Could just be horrible. That's a very good angle. So it has to fit the vibe. I think really, if we can justify it for any way, shape, or form, whether it be content, vibe, look, feel, music, whatever, then it's good enough. So my honourable mention this week is Batman Arkham Knight. It's set in Halloween.
Halloween, right? Yeah.
So, but I mean, Scarecrow finally gets the spotlight. And offer something a wee bit different for people like me who are cupboards. You know, I don't like scary games. Can't play them. Can't play them. I'll come back to that after that, right? But it offers some creeps and jumps done in a way that's very much fitting Batman. The Man-Bat moment just jumps to mind.
Oh my god, it's
You know
phenomenal.
what I mean? He feels that game came out 9 years
It's
ago.
so funny, man.
Um,
And still looks.
it's
still
still
up
one
there.
of the best
See
looking
that
games out there.
that pan into him with the first
Oh.
scene when it comes up to him. It's like, oh,
Chef's kiss. I think as a Halloween game, you know, it's like it's a great option for
Oh,
me anyway,
yeah.
because it goes hand in hand for me, Batman
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah.
Even though I don't think it's the best game in the trilogy. It's probably the more fitting one. You could argue Asylum. I wouldn't really say City. That feels a bit more Christmassy to me. You could argue Asylum as well, but I thought Night because it's set in
Set in
Halloween.
Halloween, aye.
And
Makes
Scarecrow
sense.
is the ultimate Halloween villain.
Mm-hmm.
Take that, Michael Myers. But my pick this week, right? Halloween villain.
No,
Stay with me.
I'm with you. No, I'm with you. I'm just trying to think of Halloween villains that I know, but I don't.
It's funny how we just default to horror.
Aye.
I was like, oh, maybe Freddy Krueger or something, but it's not. It's like, anyway, I will move on. But my pick this week is a game that you don't, well, in fact, actually, you will enjoy. It's Red Dead Redemption Undead Nightmare for me. To this day, it feels like such a bolt out the blue,
Mm-hmm.
you know. I remember when it was announced. You know, this is the part where you say 100 years ago. And I was like, damn, it just feels so perfect, but I just didn't have it in my bingo card at all. It was just like, it came out of nowhere. And it was the way they subverted the Red Dead Redemption experience, taking you from something that was so focused within this historically inspired story and context, and kind of creating this parallel tale
Mm-hmm.
that is a piece of fantastical fiction.
Mhm.
You know, it's
Yeah.
absolutely mental, but it's expertly done. It captures the vibes of being spooky, being silly, without it just being overt horror. And, you know, the story, simple. You know, it's all it had to be. John has to go find a cure for his zombie family. That's it. And the wee touches like the Four Horses, the Apocalypse, El Chupacabra, and all that being peppered within it,
Mhm.
they really did make it feel like at this time of year, if you want us to play something that's a little bit goofy and
Eerie,
silly and spooky
eerie.
and eerie. Yes, I think that was it. It was just Rockstar having fun.
Mm-hmm.
It really was. So in terms of a Halloween thriller, that had to be my pick. You have to do that.
That's the thriller.
So yeah, that's my pick this week.
Very fine pick, aye.
Yeah.
When you initially sent over the brief
Mhm.
for the episode, immediately thinking about horror games. And then
All
we
valid.
had the discussion, or you sent me the text later on, it was like, it doesn't have to be horror, it could just be something associated. So I had a good think about this. And the first game that came to my mind when we first started speaking about it, and when I first looked at the notes, was Dead Space. So my honourable
yes.
mention is Dead Space,
Yes.
right? Just everything about that game is pure vibes. Like, it's not always scary,
Mhm.
but when you're playing it, you're constantly gripped. Your
Aye.
your butt cheeks are literally gripped to the edge of your seat
Complete clench the whole time.
the whole time, and then the monsters come.
Mhm.
Mental. It's absolutely mental. But it wasn't the game that I was thinking about when, you know, after we had the second point. The game that I actually chose
Mhm.
is a more recent game.
Okay.
It's a game that we actually played on Halloween.
Do you know what? I nearly picked this, but yes.
And it was Until Dawn.
Yes. Yes.
The experience that game gives you, like, remake aside, whatever they've done aside, the original Until Dawn was phenomenal.
Yeah.
It has its moments where it's like schlocky American, but that's what makes it what it is.
That's part of the fun.
Like, as part of the fun, it's like you're watching a Halloween movie at this point, and you get to choose what happens.
Mhm.
Like, playing that game where you have to hold the controller completely flat for things to not happen.
Yes.
And it's like, we're all playing it together. Do you know what I mean? I think we played it as a group.
It
It was
a party.
it was hilarious. Like, I've never had anything like it before in my life. I've never done it since. It was just having that moment where you could play through this game and you create your own story.
Yeah.
Like, you're following the beaten path, and you're following the story that they set out for you, but you ultimately choose what happens and who lives and who dies. And you think it's so cool. Like,
It's so well done.
Uh-huh.
It really is.
I've not played any of the others. It's super massive.
Yep.
Is that who makes it? I've not played any more of their things, like, you know, the Man from Medan and all that. I've not played any of those, but
I think some of them might be on either PlayStation Plus or Game Pass.
I think they are. But it's just not something that I had any interest in, because Until Dawn done it perfectly for what I was looking for what we were looking for at that point in time. It was just, I associate it with Halloween every single time I think about it.
Yeah.
And it is just that you live the horror movie.
Yeah, you really do.
It's so cool.
Listen, absolutely no contest for me. I think you're right. I think back to that memory of that Halloween party playing it. It delivers the chills,
Mhm.
the thrills, spills,
The spills.
everything. It's just such a good game to play on Halloween.
Mhm.
You know, yeah. Until Dawn, man, what a shout! What a shout! Because it's. I don't think I could play that any other time of year and
Yeah.
enjoy it as much.
Uh-huh.
And that's the thing for me. Like at this time of year, Halloween, you're wanting that experience. Yeah.
It's perfect for it, and it is, as I say, you're making the movie,
Yeah.
and you get to watch Rami Malek's weird face in it.
I know it's mental actually. Think about all the star power they got in that game, even back then.
Mm-hmm.
Is it Hayden
Oh,
Panettiere?
good luck saying her second name,
Yeah.
Patiniere or something like that.
Yeah, it's no, great shout, man, great shout. I think that's a worthy addition to the list, and it absolutely hits the nail on the head for what we're talking about, a Halloween game.
Can I get a hell yeah?
Hell yes.
Hell yeah!
Stone Cold DT. No, I think, of course.
You can't drop Stone Cold DT. Like,
Oh man, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that.
that's a Halloween outfit right there.
It really is. There's still time.
Ah.
Well done to Until Dawn. You're the latest addition to the Pixel Picks list.
And they're still chasing it. They're still chasing that high that Until Dawn gave us. I think it has less. The remake of it had less concurrent players on Steam than Concord did.
Yeah, it's a bit of a wet fart of a release, wasn't it? It was a remake that
Didn't need to happen,
remade.
and it was worse than what it was.
Yeah, they changed all the colour palette and all that, and again, these things can impact what you do. It's much more than a filter. It's something. It's je ne sais quoi about it.
Je ne sais quoi.
That's it. I think I don't know what Sony was playing it then. I don't know if they were just trying to just get a double purchase out of people and be like, oh, you're future proof the new consoles, that type of thing. Who knows? But anyway, before we wrap things up, I forgot to mention that I was doing a little bit of an experiment ahead of this.
Oh yeah.
Yes, that's it, Dr. Frankenstein and all that. I decided over the past few weeks to dip a toe into some scary ass games. You mentioned one of them. So one of them was the Dead Space remake, which is on PlayStation Plus. And I had played the original. I absolutely packed my shants back in the day and didn't really get much of the way through it. I even went and played it again, not on 360, but I played the iPad version of it when I bought an iPad. It's actually a lot of fun, but again, even that was scary. But the remake, Jesus Christ almighty. I mean, my ass was making diamonds the whole time. Like it was
class.
It was phenomenal. The fidelity of it, the atmosphere, like the way that they thought about like the dismemberment system in that game. It's still, we've kind of forgotten about how ingenious that was. Dead Space is just such a masterful exercise in creating tension and making you jobby yourself all the way through it. Man, that's the way to describe it. And yes, so I played that, persevered for a couple of hours, and then that was genuinely, I have to put this down because my chest was tight, my arms were stiff, I was sweating, and
Having a heart attack.
I think I was, and my wife was in the corner reading a book, and I had turned off the light on my side, and I'm just kind of like, she said, why are you still doing this? I don't know. And I can't, I'll come back to explain it, so I thought, right, I'll try another one. And I went to the Resident Evil 2 remake. Same thing. Like, not to the same degree,
Aye.
but it was more just getting freaked out because I'm like, it's something about them coming at you very slowly. But it was just, it's the atmosphere, the fidelity of it. Just like, masterfully done. Like, no notes. Like, this is such a good game that I am too afraid to play. And it did make me think, it's like, why the hell am I such a coward? And I'm like, I think it is I just get too immersed in it.
Yeah.
And it's the agency. It's the agency side of it. I'm like, I am there. I'm in this moment. And it's like, try to get away. And I tried. I really did try. I was hoping to come in and be brave and be like, I have conquered my fear.
Conquer the ball.
I will just forever be a coward. Forever be a coward.
I don't know what it is. There's something sadistic about it. Just, I don't have any fear. Like I don't, like there's no jump moments. It's just like, all right.
Yeah, I would love for it to be like that. Like
It's
I do
actually-
envy that.
Just as I'm thinking about it, just before we obviously cut this off, I played through the Lake House expansion for Alan Wake 2 as well.
Right.
Completely forgot about it.
I didn't know that was out.
Yeah, it was out yesterday.
Right, okay.
Or the day before. It's only a few hours long, but I downloaded it at 10 o'clock at night and I finished it at 1.
Lovely.
And it was incredible. It is everything you know and love about Alan Wake. It tells more of a story within the whole Control universe as well.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of linking them both together even more than we already know now. But some of the world building in it is just it's second to none. Like, I've become the lore man now. I read things in paper and I'm like,
love it.
Oh, right, okay. But it's just an excellent experience. Like everything about it is just it's fantastic.
Out of 10 on a scale?
An 8.
That's really damn good.
It's very good. It's better than the last one. The Night Springs expansion was like stupid fun.
So it gets great.
Whereas this one it's genuinely great. Had a great time playing it.
Excellent, man. Excellent.
And it's now unfortunately sent me on a path where I want to replay Alan Wake, but I think that'll come when the Pro comes. I think that'll be.
Yeah, you have to.
That'll be on a list now.
And I look forward to us sharing our thoughts.
Honestly, like Alan Wake is a game that you could even play. There's enough there in both parts. Like it's scary, but it also gives you that wee serotonin boost and stuff like that here and there.
Okay. Well, it is on the list. It is on the
great.
list. Maybe someone's checking it twice to find out if I'm not. But that's a different season. I think, yeah. Before we wrap this up, right, and in the spirit of Halloween, right, I also watched the new Alien film over the weekend, and any fans out there of that, please go watch it. It is fantastic. Like, it is a genuine 9 out of 10 Alien film. The last 30 minutes or 20 minutes are batshit insane. But if you're a fan of the original Ridley Scott, go watch that. And if you're a fan of Todd Phillips' Joker film and you've got the sequel Joker Folie à Deux, don't watch that. It is the biggest garbage fire.
Folie à Doo-Doo.
Folie à Doo-Doo. That's it. Here we go. It's terrible. So just this Halloween, just go watch Alien Romulus. You'll have a blast if you're not playing games.
We started the podcast talking about horrifying, and Folie à Deux is horrifying.
It's horrifically bad.
I kind of want to watch it just for like it's like watching The Room, that Tommy Wiseau movie. It's like it's shite, but
that's laughably bad. That one's laughably bad.
Laughably bad.
Folie à Deux is annoyingly bad because it's wasting your time, which we always talk about in this show. It wastes your time.
That's cool.
And there's nothing smart. It's not a commentary on fans. It's complete mishandling. It's catastrophic.
Within the Batman realm, have you been watching Penguin?
Yes.
I watched 2 episodes of it.
So good.
I'm fucking balls deep, man.
Yeah.
What'd you call her? Sophia
Falcone.
Oh, chef's kiss, man.
Honestly, I think, speaking of Halloween, I think I should maybe give you my copy of The Long Halloween from Batman to read because it's superb. But anyhow, I think it's time for us to wrap things up.
To call it a day. I don't ever want to leave them. Let's just keep on talking forever and not release this episode.
No, just a live stream.
It's just a live stream of us talking. It's just us two watching it.
It's like that episode of The Simpsons where Krusty's just can't go off the air.
Send in the clowns.
Well, I think it's time for us to close the dark cold and put the chaos to bed. And that brings us to the end of this week's podcast. So thank you once again for joining us. And if you like what you hear and enjoy the podcast, leave us a wee 5-star review. It helps us out and it makes a big difference. Now, test time, Scott.
Clowns.
Where can people find you?
Llamaman91 on X/Twitter. And I'm on Blue Sky somewhere. I think it's the same name on Blue Sky, to be quite honest with you. Nah. Mister. No, it's just Llamaman. Not even 91. Have a look for me with my wee crown on.
Excellent. And you can see his lovely face on there as well.
I know.
Of course, you can find me everywhere at Carmelite on B-Sky. It's at carmelite.bsky.social, I suppose. Same thing. You see half my face, you'll know it's me. But you get my full name on there.
Oh,
full name on
I don't like that. So, people knowing who I am now.
I know, but it helps people in the show find us, I suppose. I want to engage. I want us to be talking about them. I want to hear those spicy takes. I want to hear everything.
Yes,
what
I agree.
Playing. I just want to, get in touch. I love it when people get in touch with us. And of course, thank you.
Thank you
to the producer.
To Mr. Sean Murray.
Yep. They recently returned from New York and looked like they had a wonderful time.
Where dreams are made of.
The talented and handsome Mr. Sean Murray. Thank you so much for everything that you do. He is the MVP.
The pizza rat. I'm here for him, man.
He was also there
Pour one
part of
out.
that Until Dawn night, I'm sure, as well.
He was actually, aye.
He was, yeah. Had a blast. There's a man that we can talk about horror.
Aye, he loves the horror.
He does. He's a horror expert. Now, of course, you can listen to the next episode on all major podcast platforms and follow us on Twitter at @pixel_parents and, of course, on Blue Sky as well. Just search Pixel Parents. Or write to us at pixelparentspodcast@gmail.com.
When do you think we abandon Twitter and just say find us on Blue Sky forever now?
I mean, when that other platform implodes, God knows when it is. If you want my full thoughts on it, follow me on that platform. But of course, until next time, stay safe, stay sane, and thanks for listening.
Burn Crash Bandicoot to the ground.